G'day everybody, my name's Lee. Today I'm just going to do a quick demo on using a snap-on stud removing tool to remove the head studs from a Porsche 944 turbo block. A lot of the guys use a double nut method with the heat on the block. I've only just got this tool, but I found that to be unnecessary when you use the tool. Alright, I'll tell you a bit about the tool. This is the housing for the tool. It's actually not stamped snap-on, but it's made by somebody else obviously. But in the housing there's a nut or a bolt that goes through to the inside, which is threaded. On the side of the tool here you'll see that there is also a little locating dowel inside, and on the inside of the tool here there is a slight chamfer that the collet pulls against. This is the collet that actually binds onto the stud. This is an M12 by 1.5 thread pitch stud, or thread pitch collet. We have to buy a different collet for each size and pitch of thread of stud you want to remove. In the collet there is a machine groove that corresponds with the locating stud or dowel inside the tool. All you do is slide it in until you can feel it click on. Then you turn this top nut and that pulls the collet into the tool holder right up until about, well, that's where it's locked up, so a little bit further back, and you're ready to apply it. This particular block is from a 1988 Porsche 944 Turbo. It had about 290,000 Ks on it, and I'm pulling it down because it had a dead head gasket. It was using a bit of water. I've not applied any heat to any of this area. I've not applied any penetrating fluid to loosen it up. The original Loctite is as it was from the factory. Okay, now I'll just wind the tool on. As you can see, it's a nice neat fit. That's all the way bottomed out, which I won't do. I'll just run it back a little bit, tighten it up just by hand. Now I'm just going to hold it with a big shifter because I don't own a socket that large. I use a smaller shifter just to tighten it up, and what this does is it pulls the collet right up in tight inside the housing, which makes it bind tight onto the stud thread. That's about as tight as I can do that. We'll see if it comes off. As you can see, that is winding out by hand without the use of any heat, any double nuts, any penetrating fluid or anything else at all. That one actually came out the easiest of the ones I've done so far. It'll probably be easier again with a nice long breaker bar instead of a shifter. I think the most important part is just applying consistent pressure and leverage rather than a jerking motion. And you can see whatever factory Loctiting junk they had on there. Now I'll loosen it from the collet. Because the collet's very tight, it's kind of hard to get it past the initial tightness to loosen up on the collet again. You keep winding it out, the collet sits proud of the holder again, and this can be unwound because it's nice and loose. And if you can get a close up of the studs, you'll see they are as good as new, and this stud could quite easily be reused if you wanted to. And that is how you use a snap-on stud removal tool. Pretty simple.